sick. Hey, you're really sick.
Sick, Miss Tessmacher? Sick when I'm mere days from executing the crime of the century? No. Step away from that, please. How do you choose to congratulate the greatest criminal mind of our time? Huh? Do you tell me that I'm brilliant? Oh, no. That would be too obvious. I grant you. Charismatic. Fiendishly gifted.
Try twisted.
Get away from that. Get away!
Tell me something, Lark. Why do so many people have to die for the crime of the century?
Why? You ask why? Why does the phone always ring when you're in the bathtub? Why is the most brilliantly diabolical leader of our time surrounding himself with total nincompoops?
I'm back, Mr. Luthor.
Yes, I was just talking about you. You're followed again. In spite of those cat-like reflexes.
Mr. Luthor. Mr. Luthor, I'm sorry.
Otis. Is that the newspaper I asked you to give me?
Yeah.
Why am I not reading it?
Because I haven't given it to you yet?
Right. Last, it's official. Thanks to the generous help of the United States government, we are about to be involved in the greatest real estate swindle of all time.
Lex, what is this obsession with real estate? All the time, land.
Miss Tessmacher, when I was 6 years old, my father said to me,
Get out.
before that, he said, son, stocks may rise and fall. Utilities and transportation systems may collapse. People are no damn good, but they will always need land, and they'll pay through the nose to get it. Remember, my father said,
Land.
right. It's a pity that he didn't see from such humble beginnings how I've created this empire.
An empire.
A little bit more applause. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Driving Saturday, issue number 41, episode number 41. Today we're going to do a couple of different things. I got a big cover that I'm working on, but I also was talking to someone this morning, and I wanted to talk about what a left-hand stack is. So thought I would explain that really quick because I was looking at one. And this is my collection of Advanced Dungeons and Dragons comic book, which was a great comic that DC put out in the 80s. And a left-hand stack is when the it's not when it's unbalanced, but it's when the order of the panels isn't clear, and you have more panels stacked in the left side than you have on the right side. This one's probably okay. This page here. Maybe I misspoke on the left-hand stack. I'm looking at some of these. But anyways, I can give you an example of one. This is a right-hand stack, which is okay. I'll give you an example, and I'll draw you a left-hand stack. Let's see. Let me fix this light here first. And let's put it right in here. Let's do a new page. So normally, when you're doing your pages, whoops. Let's say this is your comic page. it's pretty obvious what order you go in. You read left to right. That's how we read. Hey, how's it going? I'm explaining left-hand stack, Spicy Tries, and you're the one who asked. Normally we read left to right, so it's really obvious the order. But sometimes, especially in this modern era, people like to get creative with how they are arranging and drawing the panels. And they might do something where they'll have a long panel here, and another panel here, and another panel here, and another panel here. Now, this is the difficulty. You start reading, you get to this panel, and it isn't clear whether you should be actually going this way or this way, right? Which panel, what order do I go to? Do I go this way or this way? So when you're looking at, I think it was in this comic right here. I think it was, there was some very weird, yeah, this one right here is very strange. Although it's fine, this is not technically a left-hand stack. You read from here to here, and then you're going from this panel to this panel before you get to this panel, but she's still got like a thing down here. Like, are you reading here, 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 and then back up here? I mean, it's that's what gets a little confusing. And then this one almost looks like a left-hand stack because it is offset. This one, this one, this one, this one, this one, and this one. I think that's why this one's a bit longer up here. The dreaded left-hand stack. So and by the way, everyone's done it. Like even the greatest comic artists have done left-hand stacks. It's not that terrible of a thing to do. But usually what you'll see is they'll do some arrows. You'll see some arrows in there. I was looking at kind of a friend, a guy who's been in a couple of Kubert School classes with me, and he was showing me some of his pages from one of the narrative classes he took, and it was one huge left-hand, like it was like 4 panels on the left side and over to this other side. And I was like, did anybody warn you about that? And apparently in that particular class, they didn't make a big deal about it. But like it was a big deal when I took the class. Yeah. So anyways, oh, the other thing I want to do is before we get involved with anything, you guys know that I collect the action figures, but I got this cool robot that I wanted to show. I haven't really taken it out of the box, and I don't actually know how to put it in its, like when you get it, it's already assembled in its robot form, but it's supposed to collapse into a box shape. So this is really cool. This is it's called 52 Toys. Where is it? And I was looking for Micronauts. Do you guys remember Micronauts from the 70s and 80s? That might be before your time. Micronauts were the coolest. And I was looking around at this guy. Look at this. It's a Kirin. It's got some instructions here. Hang on. Where's my instructions? Is this the instructions? Okay, how to turn it back into a box. It's literally 34 steps. Like, how do you do this? Okay, so I think it starts out with Micronauts were really cool because you oh, what do you do here? I don't know. I'm looking at how they deform this horse-like creature. He's so cool. Anyways, let's see if I know how to do this. These things are supposed to collapse into cubes. And I'm probably still going to have to mess with it at some other time, maybe? Okay, look, it goes like that. 3. And then these are the wings. Oh, Man, I don't know. All right. Well, anyways, Kirin, very cool looking critter. Yeah, watch your left-hand stacks in comics. I'm gonna definitely draw that Kirin thing. All right. Today's assignment, I have a couple of them. So I've been doing this stuff for something called Tarot Quest, and I've turned in these 5 pages. So you've probably seen these before. I got notes back, and the only thing that really needs edits is this thing needs a border, so it's probably going to get reduced. It was a little bright. It's going to get reduced, and we got to do a border around it. And the border's got to have some ornaments, some cups and things around it. They were okay with the lettering. They wanted possibly for the dragon to be redone, because they wanted more expression on the dragon's face, like where it looks like more of a diplomacy where the dragon is considering what this guy is saying. So that might be some major surgery. I'm probably gonna have to I'm gonna have to probably copy the whole piece over so that I, when I erase it, I don't lose anything later on. Just in case we have to go backwards. The only other one they had a note about was one of the 8th page drawings over here. They wanted maybe a guy hiding back there or something, but we did quite a lot here, so that was pretty good for me to get those kind of notes, and that puts me about halfway through the assignment. And this is a pretty good assignment. Like when you get a drawing assignment and it's for more than 1 page, and you've got a page rate, and your page rate is already, I think pretty good. Then it's times 10, right? Because you're doing 10 pages, and I've got 5 done. So that always feels pretty good. All right, so where was I? This is another one. This is a cover. This is what we'll really be doing today. Let's go ahead and show it like this. So hang on. You can see it with, let me take the inks off. It's supposed to be this lady that's surrounded by undead, and then she's trying to turn undead but getting surrounded. This will be a cover for either Delver or Runes, and I couldn't remember which one it's for, but it's the same guy. The same guy puts out both magazines. So I started doing the inking, and I'm using the same distressed nibs. These are the let me grab the thing here. The whatchamacallits. Rusty Nib 1. But because it's a cover and because of the environment, I think I need to put like a lot of black, like really black out some of these areas around it. But I thought I would get the skeletons in first because they obviously won't be we don't want those blacked out. I also have some reference images. Let me show you my reference images. Reference right there. Where is it? Reference. I have a reference image of an actual skeleton. Because I wanted to make sure I'm putting the shoulder blades in roughly the right place. I don't think you have to be too slavish about your reference. I know some people are like, don't even think about picking up a pencil if you don't have a reference, but I don't agree with that. In fact, this is pretty controversial to say, I guess, in certain circles, but I would much prefer not to use references whenever possible. Just because then I feel like I've created it. I'm creating something from nothing, you know. And that's actually kind of fun for me. That's what cartooning is all about. Sometimes you do want your thing to look, you know, especially accurate, and there's a bit to be said for having a visual library and, you know, powers of observation and memorizing things. So let me put on some music here. Hang on. I know I got some. I might be able to find an even better demo for left-hand stack. There, Pisces rising. Oh, and let me finish a little bit over here, and then I'll send Sideburns a invite. I'm not sure he'll be able to make it. He's been on a different schedule lately, but he's always welcome. Oh, that's another one. All right, same problem here. The hand, I need a reference for that, so I have another reference image. There we go. I grab my references right off of Pinterest, usually. I think it's interesting when you're doing the skeletal hand. There's no, like, back of hand is a square, but actually it looks like your fingers go all the way back to your wrist. All right, let me grab the link here. Invite. Okay, copy. One second. Let's see if we can get this hand done. I was showing this on the Gilded server, and Evan mentioned that my hatching had really improved, so that was pretty cool to hear. He's actually who I learned it from. Before you saw the video I posted this morning, which is what I look like before I started taking courses. That's not the only place I've learned from. Like, I also I learned a little bit from Evan. Evan actually showed me a lot of stuff because I helped out on this comic that he's doing called the Ninjaks, and he was feeling a little bogged down and wasn't able to finish it. And he said, "Can you do some of these backgrounds and stuff?" And he gave me some pretty good direction on it too, on both the faces and I you know, he might not have realized how closely I was paying attention to what he was trying to show me. But Evan is also he actually went and, you know, he lived in the Kubert School dorm. And I'm not sure he stayed the whole time, but he's another attendee. When I first discovered they were doing the online courses, he's the one who told me, this is the one you need to take, narrative art. That's the one. All right. Hello from Sydney. Oh, Sideburns, you're actually out of town right now. That's cool. I sent you a link, but I totally understand if you can't make it. No problem. All right, how are we going to do this boot? Am I on? I should be on the right. Almost makes me want to look at some of. Speaking of reference, the D&D comic is a great example of. I mean, this is literally a D&D magazine, so. Jan Duursema. She later went on to do Star Wars and a couple other things. Yeah, I definitely want to get some boots like that. I think that's the one. These are the ones that she's going to have. You can see I've already kind of drawn them in. So if you take a look, these are, I call these pirate boots. But one of the things I've never been able to get right is you notice how she's got this sort of gathers the material at the ankles. That's kind of cool. It doesn't show it here. I'm looking at her stuff. This was such a cool comic. There we go. There it is again. So you can kind of see what's going on here. I'm going to have it lower than I had before. Whoops. Okay, and then there's kind of like a gathering of material of the leather. You could even put a stitch down the side. This is a trick that I picked up. When you're looking at the seams of clothing, things like that, you can use those to kind of hide your contour lines to reinforce the perspective without putting too much effort in. It's like, you know, if you look at your jeans, there's a seam line a lot that goes down the side of it. She's got some hatching down here. Let me get rid of this hand. There we go. And then I had this idea that she would have like this kind of like big, you know, side belt pouch looking thing. But just like everything else, hang on, whoops. That will also have its own seam. So it'll have a seam down the side here, maybe a seam there. We've got this sort of rough stitch. There's the flap over. And that's looking pretty good. Like, there's obviously some things I'm going to need to clean up. All right, let's look at the size of this boot right here. We want to make sure that the boots match in size. Otherwise, she'll look weird, like she's got like one leg longer than the other or something like that, which I'm really close to that already. So I'm a little worried about it. There we go, something like that. Yeah, she's looking good. So my idea on the armor is that it's like some kind of like leather armor, but it's in these sort of plated areas. So we see we can see the polygons of how it's around her. And then this rune that she's casting is going to be generating light. So once we finish the whole thing, we put another layer on, and then we're going to kind of like shadow up towards this light, you know, so a lot of this will be cast in shadow, like the skeletons and stuff. But my problem with that is it's definitely got to be on its own layer. All right, so how does she got her arm? She's got like these half sleeve, I think, or these sleeves that kind of end right there. This is meant to be like an elbow guard. Okay, here's a hand pose. We want to do it like this, right? This is the way I'm thinking of it. So the thumb is up, and then these fingers kind of radiate outwards. So the female hand has more slender fingers. That looks pretty good right there. I think that looks okay. Okay, same deal here. We want to make sure that we're getting the textures right. Like this upper arm area is going to be metal. I mean, we can see the shoulder blades or the shoulder pads are metal. So we got to put this sort of reflective metal texture on. And then this gives us the impression that she's a cleric. She's not a rogue or a wizard. She's got enough metal that we've figured out what she's doing, and she's some kind of rune caster or cleric. It'd be nice if we could use the same holy symbol. I'm going to go back in the pencils for a second. Somewhere on the armor. So we're going to try and work that in as a motif on the armor down here. And it's okay if it's not perfect. When you're painting or when you're drawing like this, you know, you're trying to access a storytelling, a sense of storytelling, or like even a sense of emotion and drama. And all of those things are not... they're not about perfect accuracy. They're more about feel. One of my favorite fantasy artists is Stephen Poag. Well, basically all the guys who worked for Goodman Games. Poag draws almost cartoonishly deformed characters. And he's so cool. You know, it's sort of perfect fantasy art. I feel the same way about Dave Trampier. All right, here we go. All right, all that looks pretty good. Let me see. Let's take a look at without the pencils. That's looking nice and clean. You may have noticed that I have the floor at a slant. I think that's going to look really cool. I want these to have the sense that they're rising from the crypt. They've dug their way out of the ground or something. So you can see like the dirt just and the muck just dripping off of them as they're coming up. All right, let's look at some reference for this guy too. Hang on, let's do another skeleton. And by the way, while I'm doing that, hang on. Stephen Poag. Stefan Poag, there it is right there. Check out Stefan Poag's art real quick. This is, to me, this is the gold standard of art. Like fantasy art, or at least one of them. Oh crud, you can barely see it, but it's so great. Like, it's obviously not realistic, right? So that's a given. But it's just madness. Like, it is just crazy madness. Where is it? Look at the this is all the shadows and the light. This is like pure drama. And that's what I want to do with this thing that I'm working on as well. Look at those Necrophidians. Skull snake is what it says. That's so kick-ass. All right, anyways. We got to grab ourselves a skeleton. Skeleton reference off of Pinterest or wherever. And I want to show you how that works in... this one looks pretty good. Oh, Pinterest it might not work, but... save to photos, right? So it's in my photos, allow. Then we go over here, back to Procreate, click on Canvas, reference, import, and it'll import off of your camera roll. So there it is. The reference we're looking for is for this rib cage for this particular skeleton right here. All right, we're going to do this is the center line of his rib cage here. And we're not going to follow it exactly because we're also going to throw some rags or some kind of like, you know, whatever this skeleton was wearing formerly. We're going to try and add those details as well. Ooh, there we go. So try not to pooch this. All right, now let's put the rags on him. The way I like to do it is just sort of throw some eraser across there. And it's just shredded on there. All right, let's take a look without the pencils. Somebody on Friday had posted a link to Otisburg, which is a bit out of the Superman movie from 1980, where Lex Luthor has Ned Beatty as his hapless henchman, and he's showing the map of what he's going to rename. I think it's California or Florida. I can't remember. He's like, this is gonna be Lutherville, and this is gonna be Lextown and stuff. And he gets to this one little area and it says Otisburg because Otis is, you know, and Otis has basically written it in himself. And of course, Lex Luthor, being pretty evil, is like, what? Otisburg? Who authorized this? It's one of my favorite clips. Otisburg? All right, there we go. All right, let's get one of the arms in. He's got this arm. This arm is going to be down so that arm can be up. I was going to do zombies. Like, I was going to have these be fleshy zombies. But I think skeletons is actually kind of more fun in a lot of ways. And we could put more flesh on the skeletons if we want to. I think that's okay. Or we could mix them in. Maybe we make a couple in. I do have this one guy in the back where you see this guy in the back here. I might make him more of a zombie-like guy. But I think I have to wait for my shadow layer before I decide what all these dudes are going to be. All right, let's do this arm. I'm looking at that elbow. And ends up here in the wrist. I've been thinking of submitting a portfolio to Goodman Games, who is my favorite mainstream publisher, I guess, of fantasy stuff, and seeing if I can get a couple of spot illustrations in there. That would be kind of a dream come true. I mean, there's no comics have been ruined. There's no comics anymore, unfortunately. And I'd rather not do it anyways. You don't have any rights over anything you do. For if you were to draw comics, like, those are not your characters, and you don't have any rights or control over them. Even if you're writing the character, you don't really have much say. Let's put some more rags on him. So when you see me erasing like that, we can even do like a little shredded, decrepit, you know. But anyways, for Goodman Games, you would have a lot of, I think, creative leeway. And even if not, I think it would just be cool to do it. That would be certainly a what would we call that? An accomplishment. All right, let's bring back the old pencils here. All right, that's looking good. All right, we got to do this arm. It's coming out here. Let's take a look at the arm. You don't have to follow it exactly, but you do have to just be aware of how it's formed. Like, I know my proportions are off, and this hand is huge. Some of that is foreshortening. Like, I'm trying to say that there's foreshortening going on, but I think I have overstated the case a bit. Especially since I have a closer guy with a smaller hand. I think maybe our hand should be transposed. Speaking of hands, that's the other one that I was showing off some of that before and after Kubert School art. And my hands haven't changed. Like, the way I draw hands is essentially remained exactly the same. They're slightly more credible. They look a little bit more credible, like hands. But that's one of those things, like, you probably will never really get over unless you you know, make some major changes. And I remember when I first had to draw hands. I was drawing a poster for 9th grade theater class. It was a theater poster for a play that was getting put on. And the only reference I could find, you know, because back then it wasn't a case of whether you wanted to use reference or not. You were going to have to use reference because there was just no way. And what I found, it was an Iron Maiden cover. Let me show you the exact cover. If I put in here Iron Maiden, I think Iron Maiden, Number of the Beast. And there's a hand pose on there that I have used a lot. Where is it? No, not the lyrics. There it is right here. Open up. Come on, man. This hand. Whoops. Whoa. Come back here. This hand right here. And then this hand over here. And this hand over here are the hands that I spent, and this one too. I spent a lot of time copying these hands and a lot of Jack Kirby hands, which are the box fists. But this one was really useful because it was so big. You know, it was right there. It was, you know, foreshortened hand, and every one of these is a foreshortened hand. All right, let's take a look at it. And that's looking pretty good, I would say. Okay, let's do some patching on the bones. Part of this is hair from the skull of the skeleton in front. I'm wondering if I should change the shape a little bit, like over here. That feels pretty good. That's looking pretty good. Okay. Let's get this one behind her. All right, same deal. Generally a skull. I think it would be cool to have this one's eyes are dark, but maybe this one's eyes are glowing with some kind of malevolent evil energy. All right, we're almost there. All right, because of the way this skull is tilted back, we're gonna, instead of having this whole forehead area, I'm having a lot less. I've got a pretty cool tool for measuring stuff like that if you really want to do. Let's see if I can find it. This is called a divider, and you would go like this, and then you would, well, here it is on this size, and then you would use the other size to measure, you know, where it is. I actually saw Terry Crews. You know who Terry Crews is? He's like the MC or the host of the America's Most Talented or something like that. But he's actually an artist, and if you follow him on Instagram, he'll do these drawing demos. And he uses this tool a lot, like the divider tool. I think he may have this exact divider. This is the least expensive one I could find on Amazon. But a great way to get your proportions right. Okay. All right, we're gonna get this arm up. And then same deal here with the shoulder. Now ultimately we want to do like a tiny separation, a tiny halo effect to separate the foreground from the background elements. So you can see I did this like little erase line right here. And we might bring those lines back. It just depends on what it looks like. We're going to take a second assessment here in a second. But we've got to get the whole thing in. And also, I haven't put the shadow layer in, which is going to be a lot. All right, hang on. I'm looking more at the arm again. Yes, Terry Crews is actually an incredible artist. He's like go look on Instagram. Actually, I'll show you. Hang on. Let me cut this off. Just for a moment. Just for a second. Let me open it up on another tab here. Terry Crews. No. Okay. I'm going to share my screen just for a second. Share screen. All right, this is Terry Crews's Instagram page, and you can see it's all of his America's Got Talent stuff, I guess. And then you get to this, right? By the way, he's not just an artist; he's also a musician. He plays the flute. He's an extremely talented dude. But here he is doing his America's Got Talent Fantasy League, and without drawing Mel B. And look, he's got the same divider. As I do. Yeah. And you can see he's really good. Like that's better than I could do. He's way better than me. By far. Not even I'm not saying he's a little better than me. He's way better than me. That's really good. Anyways, I'll stop sharing. Stop your sharing. Yeah, sometimes you get surprised by stuff like that. I don't know if you this is probably here, I'll put another song on. Is it this one? No. I'll put this one on. So there used to be a band known as the Rolling Stones, and one of the guys who was in that band is Ron Wood, who replaced Brian Jones. He's also like an incredible portrait artist. I don't even know if Ron Wood is still alive. This arm is too short. I've done something weird with it. It's definitely the foreshortening. Or maybe I made the shoulder blade too prominent. His arm is up in front of the foreshortened shoulder blade. Okay, same deal here. What's going on with the hands? There's no palm on a skeleton. But they do have like this sort of bony structure. Whatever that is. It's crazy when you see stuff like that. Like that, you realize at that point that person could have done anything in life. They could have done whatever they wanted to. All right, let's see what we got. Oh, it's pretty gnarly. All right. Let's add some rags and some muck onto the skeleton. Oops. Okay. There's all the gross stuff. All right, that's looking pretty good. And then same deal here on this part of the arm. So this is called framing, when you've got like we could have taken his arm and stuck it behind her arm, and that would have been good for 3-dimensionality, right? It would have shown some 3-dimensionality. But it helps to kind of fit it into the space to create framing, because it's framing both her and the monster, and if you can get it to look pretty natural, that's a good thing. N22 asks, are skeleton hands easier to draw than fleshy ones? I think they're a bit harder because there's no palm, and the way I draw hands now, I'm not saying I'm great at it. The way I draw hands now is I use the landmarks of this muscle, the thumb, is the first thing I think about, and then I think about the rest, and then sometimes I think about this other muscle here. I kind of make this kind of square palm. To do the hand. But with a skeleton hand, it's both easier and simpler, but because there's none of that. You don't have any of that. Like, if you look at my skeleton hand here, it's just bones. Jake Twister, good tidings to you too. Hope you're doing all right. Hope you're enjoying. I don't know what season it would be where you are, but whatever's going on. Let's fix this thumb bit here. I'll make this smaller. How did this get so big? Oh, there it is. So this is a cover for I think it's Delver at this point. It's a magazine. It's rough, but clears up by next week. Oh, good. That's awesome. I'm wondering if I put too much. Too many lines. Isn't that what they said? Too many notes. I don't like your music. It's got too many notes. I think this thumb is a little weird. Or something like that. All right, we're going to do some more rags. What's the cover for? Yeah, it's adding to the mood. The cover's for, I think it's for Delver. This is a copy of Delver. It's put out by this guy named James Floyd Kelly, and he does it on Kickstarter. I think there's a Kickstarter for it, where you can subscribe to it. And I've been contributing art to it for a while, and it's been a great gig. This issue. I did the cover for this one, so that's my cover. And that's for January. So this one might already be out. If it is, I don't know. I haven't gotten it. But the next one is going to be, I believe this one. Well, thank you very much. Thank you so much. I have not seen the Amazing Digital Circus either. Jake actually knew what it was because he said it's not his cup of tea. But I don't even know what it is. Probably not mine either. I'm more of like a Minecraft guy. Although I haven't played any of the multiplayer Minecraft lately. All right. You want to make this real icky looking by having stuff dripping off of it? Maybe it's like wrapped up like burial sheet or something, or bandages. It's going to have, like I said, it's going to have this. We're going to put in another layer and then like deep shadow. So like these guys are going to be some of the only things coming out, but I have to draw them first before I throw in the shadow. And this is tough because it's behind her, so it's not going to be real obvious. So I'm just going to fudge in some of this stuff. Also, I don't want it to look as detailed as this hand up front of the other skeleton. Thank you very much, Sideburns. I hope that was to me. Okay, was this? Okay, it's related to Hasbin Hotel. Okay, I think so. And maybe one day Duckling Star will pick up a pilot on A24. Is that? I guess that would be Australian TV. Just because we're on the subject, real quick. Duckling Star in the comicseries.com. This is Sideburns' comic. And I don't know if I have a link, an easy link to get to for Twisters, the one that's on I forgot the site, Newgrounds. They nuked all the content. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I did see, if you go to well, just real quick, hang on. Let's show Duckling Star for a second. I looked at the page and it's starting. I thought it was just the start of the new chapter. I didn't realize page 2 is on. I've got to the one where she wakes up. So hang on for a second. I'll show you where we are. If you're not on Newgrounds anymore, you got to tell us where you are. I'll put the link up. Share screen. Share it. I looked at this morning. I didn't realize you had another page already up. So you can see the duck is there, and then there's Debbie. I think that's Debbie. Her alarm goes off, and she wakes up, and she's late, and she's running, basic training. So I guess this must be page 2. I like this frog guy. Nice tones. Cool spaceship design. This is very taking care of business, you know. The lyrics of taking care of business are you wake up every morning at the alarm clock's morning. Go hard on the bus stop, yeah. Very cool. All right. Pencil Mickey. All right. I'm going to start fudging in some of the background. She's on this tilting platform. Some of these details are going to get eliminated when we start throwing in the shadows, but we'll see. I'm going to do some of the skeleton wearing boots as well. She's on this tilting platform in some kind of dungeon. And you can see the vaulted ceiling of or it's a tomb of some kind. We only have to hint at it. Because this light is going to like be obliterating some of the details. This is the holy symbol that she's casting. And, so there's going to be shadow kind of falling everywhere. And then the light kind of illuminating the figures as well as herself. So let's see what it looks like now. So you can see now it's got more of an environment already just by doing that. Cyburn says he's going back to CSP again. I'll keep practicing traditional though. My YouTube had a bump in views, which is crazy. That's awesome. Yeah, you mentioned that you like the screen tones in CSP a lot better. And then tutorials might be a good next step. Yeah, if you're getting the views, that sounds awesome. Very cool. I have to admit, I enjoy making the videos, but I'm not good at them. For me, it's more like an everyday accountability. Like, I'm making comics every day. That's all I need to show my videos. That's what I need to show. All right, there's a curve. These are partial curves. It's hard to get a nice continuous curve. I don't have a French curve that I can use on the iPad, you know, to put a thing right over the top of the iPad. It doesn't really work that well when you do that. So you kind of have to rely on the built-in curve ruler. Oh, this is a hand over here. Okay, this is a hand in the foreground. All right, so same problem, and this one is a real problem. It's this hand right here. It's a hand. It's a skeleton hand from behind like this. So, and I've tangented the thumb already, so I've got to fix that. Looking at it. Maybe I need to look at this one. The front part of your forearm has the two bones, you know, the tibia and the, what is the other one called? Ulna. It's the outside one, is the ulna. Awesome. All right. Okay. These bones right here, your fingers are phalanges, right? I don't know what these bones are called in the back of your hand, but they're basically look like extensions of the fingers. Your phalanges start afterwards. And then we're just going to hope for the best, really. All right, let's throw the. That looked okay. All right. I think there's another skeleton. Yeah, there's another skeleton. A whole other skeleton I got to draw over there. And then there's a zombie-looking guy. It might be a zombie lord or an evil cleric or something in the doorway back here. So there's going to be an arched doorway way in the back. I've tangented this again. It's too long. And it's just going to interfere with that line. The carpal metacarpal, yeah, whatever this thing is, the two bones are. For some reason, I thought the carpal metacarpal was in the back of your wrist, but you're probably right. I thought it was the tibia and the ulna. But yes. I think you're correct. All right. All right, same deal here. I need to put some rags on this guy. So we're gonna erase a little bit of it. There we go. Hey, come back. The ulna, the carpal bone is the scaphoid. Oh yeah, okay, scaphoid, and then tubercle of the scaphoid. So not the ulna, but the radius. Yeah, I might have all that stuff. I never took an anatomy class or anything like that. I've gotten a couple of books and tried to research it, like try to figure it out. have an amateur's understanding of it. Okay. All right, she's looking good. Let's do this one skeleton over here in the corner. Oh, what's going on? Stuff. There we go. I could probably. Where's my skull? Where's my skull? I think it's more of a. Obviously, there's more of an angle to it, but I always like how the teeth start way up high on the skull. Jake says, yeah, me neither. I just use the books to learn my stuff too. I'm the same way. Yeah, visual learning on the go while repetitional practice. Fastest track to career alone. Yes, absolutely. I'm gonna put a favorite for that. Totally agree. Jake, what are you working on lately? Are you doing comics lately, or busy with other stuff? Either way, I understand. I had a big slowdown. I've actually, I'm a bit behind on my normal like numbers this year since 2024 has started. I feel like I'm behind a little bit, but I have gotten like I've gotten they're paid jobs, but they're not really comics. They're other stuff. They're fantasy art like this. This is a paid job. And I actually like this one. I'm a little bit more nervous about the other one, which is Tarot Quest, because they're a lot more demanding. Like when I send them art, they send me back corrections. that's that's really hard to deal with sometimes. You're like, all right, I gotta wage slavery, says Zeke. I gotta do 2-week reading sabbatical, then start the first work cycle in March in comics. Sounds good. Sounds good. All right, let's see if I can get the spinal remains here. Maybe get this sort of moon-shaped pod for the rib cage. And then maybe that's what I should really be looking at. All right, it's got this. These are the your collarbones, and you got to get them in perspective, kind of, because the character is trying to pose and bend. Well, whatever we come up with, it doesn't have to be perfect because we are going to cover some of this up with shadows and then also rags. Like we're going to have them dressed in their burial rags. So if it doesn't come out perfect, there's no beating yourself up over it. Just keep it going, keep it flowing. Okay, this book, I've read this book. This is an excellent book. Flow, right? You got that today? Definitely. This is a great book. I read that when I was in the Army, and it stuck with me ever since. I have not read this one. It's called Vision by Hans P. I'll look that one up. I'm going to favorite that one just so I can take notes later. But I forgot how to pronounce this game. It's Sixcent Holly. Sixcent Holly. Yeah, I've definitely read Flow, and that's one that's stuck with me. That informs a lot of how I try to stay in the creative zone, to be drawing every day and be doing stuff every day, and to get into the flow state. And even when you suck at something, like I don't know, I was showing. I did a video this morning. I don't know if you saw it, where I was showing like where I was in 2020 and 2021 and 2019 as compared to right now, and it's like I'm miles ahead of where I was, and that's just a couple of years ago. So, and it makes me think that if I keep going, right, if I keep heading this same direction, then I'll get somewhere else. You know, I hope. I am enjoying it. Oh, it's not the flow book. The title is The Systems Model of Creativity. Oh, it's the new one. I'll check it out. She sent Mihaly. She sent Mihaly. Sideburns is saying, everyone reads before bed, but I prefer in the morning. I made it a habit. Very cool. Yeah. I read at night. I have a Kindle Fire which has a light, so I can actually like just before I go to bed. And I'm usually reading comics. Like lately, I've been reading Little Nemo in Slumberland, like the old Little Nemos, which are public domain. And I've also been reading Floyd Gottfridson's Mickey Mouse. I think I'm on volume 5, and it's really good. Like, all right, let's see. Looking good. Let's do a shoulder blade. The upper arm. And then the lower arm. I like that one. book. Take a look. It's in the book. All right, if we pull pencils off now, it's starting to take shape. Same here. I shouldn't really do this hatching right now. I should wait till I get to the whole figure completed and then worry about that later, but I just like inking. All right, hang on. We want to integrate this more into her armor. Let's make it look like it's some leather stitching or something, or leather embossing. Jake, I'm not sure if you know what I do in my civilian life. He says, maybe you're just recommending that in general. So you're saying, I don't recommend that systems, but collection takes still for collections of dry academic text. The answer to that is that's kind of what I do in my civilian life. So I'm cool. I'll do it. I'm into it. I'll definitely check it out. I would at least check it out. Come on now. I would totally do that. All right. Look at some of this. So we sent you my work in progress for 40K Marine fighting some skibbity toilets the other day. I went to Sideburns. I gotta say, I don't understand the skibbity toilet meme at all. I mean, I know what it is. I know it's Gary's mod, and it's basically these stupid heads that are popping out of the toilet, and there's a whole storyline to it. Oh man, drawing these curves is very. There we go. I wish you should have like a little bit of jewelry. Because I love skibbity toilet. Straight back to 2009. That's hilarious. I gotta say, it's one of the ones that I totally do not get. I mean, I know the song, I know what it's from, like I'm familiar. I just don't get it. All right, she's got this pouch and then this pouch. black in there. I'm wondering if I may have done this wrong. The title of the magazine is probably going to have to be, like, I may have to move my symbol a bit lower. What if we took the symbol and bumped it down a little bit here? Because, it's going to be like silver or something, or runes, whichever one it is. I may have to, like, compress it a little bit at the end of it. We'll see. There's always a way. There's always a solution. Some say it's the fall of civilization. I say it's just fear of imagination. Not to pull that card, but you had to be there. Late aughts into early tens anime before it went up. And all the pieces, yeah. Like, I remember when my my younger kid just really got into Gary's Mod, and they would do some crazy stuff in Gary's Mod, where you would have them. They would be playing the game, but they'd like all be garbage cans, or they would all be. There was one where they could you could disguise yourself as any object to try and sneak up on people and stuff like that. And it's kind of where Skibbity Toilet came from, I think. It looks like that, anyways. All right, let's do. Those are the back of the fingers, the back of the hand ones. Prop hunt. That's the one, yeah. Prop hunt. Those are hilarious. Oh, no. Okay, here we go. To get my line weights right. All right, same deal with the hand. Let's bring up a hand again. No, it's the wrong hand. How about this hand? And then this is the mysterious guy in the background. He's in the archway. It could be another skeleton. Like, we could make him a skeleton or zombie or an evil zombie master or something. right, let's finish this guy. Yeah, feel free to make a parody of this cover if you want to. Like the bone meal parody. Oh, wait. I always have trouble with the hip bones. Hip bones are tough. Hip bones are tough. I always get them wrong. So that's not a hole there. That is just like a concave area. And then that's a hole when it comes around like that. And then it's got like your femur. Femur in the morning. Femur in the afternoon. Okay, there we go. There's our femur. And I made his femur a little bit too thick. I know they're thick. Come on. Let's see. All right. We need a side view. There's your shin bone. How far did I have to go? Oh, you know what? Look at it. Look how I had it. I had it going a totally different direction. And that's a much better direction, actually. Make some text that says spooky, scary skeleton. Hip bones are the bane of making bone meal, yes. They're tough to draw, right? Hello, Mirsky. What's up, man? What am I drawing? I'm drawing a cover for a magazine called Delver, I think. And I can show you. That's where it is right now. I don't have the title up there yet or anything. That thing is way too big. I think if I can save it if I do that, yeah. I've got to figure out where all the lines. He's on this tilted platform, and there's like a layer of shadows that hasn't been drawn yet. So that's tilting. This is the far wall. Something like that. And then we need the archway. Look at the distance. There's some problems here. right. I like that curve. All right. Just kind of throwing the curve and hoping that it comes in where I want it. Simplification of the films. Yeah, that's how I normally do it. I would always simplify this sort of bean shape. But it's cool to have the reference too. I mean, that's what I've been doing lately. Is if it's something easy to get a reference for, and not everything is, and you can tell I didn't follow it exactly very well. But here's how we're going to fix that. We're going to put some rags on the skeleton, so he's. And it's the same deal on the pelvis here. Oops. And that way we can kind of hide a little bit of our deficiencies. But I definitely wanted the rags anyways. I think they look really cool and gnarly. I've got to do stone texture for the whole background, and then we're going to make this archway look a little bit more interesting too. However she came in, maybe there's a portcullis gate or some kind of death gate, with iron bars. Keystone. Oh, you actually drew this. So this is interesting. You drew it to have male and female skeletons, right? Because bone meal, and that's kind of cool because they're all skeletons, so it makes sense to try and differentiate the male and female. I remember that one of the females had like a bow in the hair, or am I misremembering that? Sometimes he would do that. That is a cool idea, though. All right. This line is incorrect. So we're going to flex to simulate a texture. And then I always like to do like a little baseboard. Gives the room an architectural sense. And it's real subtle, like you don't really notice it too much. Let's do a sole on her shoe or boot. Within the pelvis, I drew female differentiates by emphasizing the tailbone is shaped like a heart, while males have more of a V shape. Very cool. Yeah, that's beyond where I would even think of. I think it's a great idea, just for character design to do that, though. Never mind. Even put shadow. I think actually this line should be right here. This line should be off. Yeah, that gives us a better sense of the room. So this one. So we got to add texture on the floor. We've got to add some hatching on the floor. We've got to add a whole shadow layer. So we see the lighting in the room, like it's going to be a dark room. One of the I have another issue of Delver sitting around somewhere. It's not color. This one is color, but the other one's dark. It's just black and white. I'm trying to show off as Jason the Argonaut. Peter has no idea what that is. Yeah, I do. I'm a Harry Hansen super fan. Oh, Skibbity Toilet? I know more than you think. I know a little bit of Skibbity Toilet. I know a little bit. I don't know all of it. Like, there's a whole war. I know that there's like a whole continuity to it. One of the Minecraft builders I follow is a Korean builder named Mandu Min, and out of nowhere, he did a Skibbity Toilet build. Like you would do a giant Skibbity Toilet Minecraft build with 3 heads. Had 3 guys in there. All right. We need to. Oops. What's going on here? Why isn't it dropping in? There it is. This is not the new layer yet, but we want to start like blocking our shape so it's. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah. What's the equivalent of OK Boomer for a Gen Xer? OK Xer. OK Boomer. I don't like that. Well, there's parts of it that I'm not liking about this. Like a lot of this is going to be blacked out anyways, so we can put the title of the magazine up here. Let's put this guy in the background. It's 10x versus whatever, dude. Yes, possibly. Possibly. Maybe I can make this guy looking really ominous. All right, how are we gonna do this shadow layer? Shadow layer has to be its own layer because, among other things, it's gonna we're gonna cover up some of the figures here, but we want to be able to erase it back again. You know, to scrape it back again to account for the light coming off the holy symbol. And I'm not 100% sure what we're going to do, but I was thinking I would just use distort, just push it down a little bit, just to make room for the title, but it doesn't have to. And maybe I'll cut off the bottom and then push it down. Another possibility. I have some creepy drips. All right, we are approaching the end here. It is 7:56. Oops. The dude thing is Californian. It's whatever, man. Yeah, whatever, man. That's my generation. All right, hang on. I'm gonna make this look like stone and maybe kind of wet and shimmering in the light, in the candlelight, and there's that guy in front of it. All right, it is 7:58. Hopping off now. All right, see you later. Jake, if you had a link or something to leave me, I would definitely post it. But I know that you took your stuff off the grounds. Jake Twister, cartoonist from Bone Meal, or formerly of. But you won't be known for just one thing your whole life. It's going to be some more stuff. It's going to be awesome. Even though he hates TV tropes, which I enjoy. All right, so we're starting to getting some of our hatching here, and I am right at time. All right, please like, follow, subscribe. There'll be more comics every day, more inking. I don't know if you can see any of this. More comics every day, more inking. Life will continue apace. If you just start working on stuff, and you just keep it up, and you keep your mind in the right state. Before you know it, you're going to get better. You get better just by doing stuff. I know not everyone agrees with me on the grind stuff, but it does work, in my opinion. If you can commit to the nonsense. Oh, what's going on there? I didn't want that. So keep it up. There's always going to be more. All right. Bringing off the stuff. This is the end. Beautiful friend.
Because all you of Earth are idiots.